Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Mountain Brook Spartans, head soccer coach Joe Webb. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
We're on the campus of Mountain Brook High School speaking with the soccer coach, Joe Webb. Welcome in, Coach.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate you having me.
Glad to be here. So tell us a little bit about your coaching background. How did you get to this point?
It's such a bizarre story. Sometimes I sit back and wonder.
Okay.
I had never heard of soccer.
All right.
I was a sophomore in high school, and some of my friends talked me into coming down and watching what they were doing. Well, long story short, I joined the team. And after a season of that, one of the referees that we had, Otto Mueller, great guy, he said, you know, if you become a referee, because they need more referees,
right,
you'll also learn more of what you can get away with as a player.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm like, ooh, I like that. And he was right.
Yeah.
Well, I still referee. I don't play anymore, but I still coach.
Yeah.
So I played for a season, and then I started refereeing, and then I'm refereeing a game, and because I knew more than the two coaches, one of them said, "Hey, would you come help me coach?"
Wow. Okay.
So there's a picture in my classroom back in 1978 of Coach Webb's first team.
Okay.
And all my students think, "All right, which one of these players is you?" It's like, no, I'm that guy standing in the back.
Right.
And they're like, "No, that guy's got hair." And it's like, well, we all used to.
Yes.
But that's, it started from there. It's funny. I started the very first soccer game I ever saw.
Wow.
I played hockey before I played soccer.
Okay.
And then wound up getting some offers, UAB and Birmingham Southern and several others. Went to Birmingham Southern, played there for 4 years.
Right.
And back in high school, I had met an opposing coach, Ray Woodard.
Okay.
He's the one who brought soccer to Alabama back in 1963.
Wow. And
we played them, they killed us. They just destroyed us.
Sure.
So I went up to him after the game. It's like, "Sir, no offense to my coach, but I think y'all know a little bit more.
Right.
Would you consider training me a little bit?"
Yeah.
And this guy, he's one of those, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I drove from Huffman to Indian Springs a couple times a week over the summer.
Wow.
And he wouldn't take money, but he was addicted to Mountain Dew.
Okay.
So I'd take him a Mountain Dew. All right. So we're out there, and we're just having a good time. Well, there was a kid who was out there too.
Right.
I say kid because, here I am 16 years old, and it's somebody younger than me.
Right.
So they're a kid. Turns out that was Ray's son, Eric.
Okay.
Well, fast forward, right after college, Eric and I became friends.
Okay.
And I mean, like really good friends. We're still really good friends today.
Sure.
And sometime later, he and I are out just, messing around one night, and he said something about sisters. I said, "You have sisters?" I had no clue. So I married his sister.
Oh, wow.
And so now we're all coaching and involved in it. Eric's here coaching. There's a freshman soccer tournament going on behind us. Eric is somewhere here with the John Carroll team. He's the freshman coach there.
Okay.
And yeah.
That's amazing.
And this is just what we do.
And how long have you been coaching here?
I've been here. This is my 29th year.
Wow. So short time. Little bit.
Well, it seems like a drop because I remember the start just like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
29
it's been a little
years
while.
later. There you go.
It's been a little while.
So tell us about this 2025 team. What do they look like?
They're a very interesting collection of individuals.
Okay.
As most teams are.
Right.
The most fun teams to coach are not a bunch of clones, but you got some individuals. You've got all the little stereotypes represented. You've got, all the little outshoots out there.
Right.
And that's a fun group trying to take something like that and put it together and make something out of it.
Right.
We've got 10 seniors, but we've also got some young ones. That's a lot.
Yeah.
We have a junior high.
Yeah.
So people don't come up here until they're 10th graders.
Okay.
So it kind of athletically it slows things down a little bit compared to like our neighbors.
Right.
Academically, I think it's probably good because we do well with it.
Yes.
But I've got 3 freshmen on the team. 2 of them play. I mean, they start a lot. They play almost all the time.
Right.
The third one plays more than a lot of people think. A freshman, you hear a freshman. Now he's played in most of the games.
Right. That's amazing.
So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, you're 10-2-1, so really good record. You've played 13 games. Let's talk about a few of those.
Okay.
So back on February 18th, you played Wetumpka and won 1-0.
Right.
Tell us about that game.
That was a good game.
Okay.
That was a really hard fought game.
Right.
We played them last year. Hadn't really ever played them before.
Okay.
Played them last year. For some strange reason, one of my goals is before I do hang it up to play everybody in state at least once.
Okay.
I don't know why. I just think that would be cool.
Yeah.
So I started playing them last year, and we had a good time. It was a hard fought battle. They beat us.
Okay.
And it's like, all right, we need to do this again.
Well, it was close this year.
Yeah. So they came up here, and it was 1-0, and we, it was a really fun game.
Good.
People who are not necessarily soccer fans, some of my students and other teachers that came out there, like, wow, that was a lot of fun. I want to see another game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was one of those good battles where you're just knocking each other in the mouth, and then when it's over, man, that was fun.
Yeah.
We'll see you later.
Exactly. Let's do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played Pike Road about a week ago, and it was the same thing. We won 3-0. It was a little bit closer than that score might think. And when the game's over, their coach and I are hugging. It's like, man, that was fun. We're going to play next year, right? Yeah, we're going to play next year.
Right. Gotcha. So then on February 27th, you played down in Dothan for the Wiregrass Cup. You actually played Dothan and beat them 2-1. How did that night go?
That was a really interesting game. Dothan is 7A.
Okay.
And just like I like to try to play everybody, kind of once. I also, last year I went to this tournament. Okay, so this year I'm going to go to this tournament. This year I'm going to go to this tournament.
Right.
And the Dothan guy had been kind of making fun of me because you don't ever come to my tournament. Fine, we will come to your tournament. And so we came down there, and the three teams that we played, Dothan, Enterprise, and Montgomery, they're all in the same area together.
Yes.
They're all 7A teams, all area teams. So they're not going to play each other in this. Why would you?
Right.
But they're each playing me.
Yeah.
And then Oak Mountain went down there, and Spanish Fort came up.
Right.
So it was a really fun experience. They ran a great tournament.
Good.
We played, one game a day for each of those.
Sure.
And the fields were good. Really enjoyed it. The Dothan game was a tough game.
Yeah.
We prevailed, but it was one of those that, boy, it was neck and neck and neck. And then we came out at the end. It's like, all right, we need to play again sometime.
Good deal. So then the very next day, you did end up playing Enterprise.
Right.
And you beat them 3-2.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that one.
Yeah, Enterprise is always a tough opponent for us. Bruce Ladner does a great job with that group of kids. Right. Bruce and I are old friends. It's funny to me to watch kind of out of the corner of your eye. You see the other teams watching when the coaches go to meet each other. Right. Because we're over there hugging and telling jokes and shaking hands, and they're like, wait a minute, y'all aren't supposed to be friendly. It's like, well, why not? It's a game.
Why not? Yeah.
But we enjoy each other. We will crack on each other during the game sometimes.
Sure.
Because it's a game. Games are supposed to be fun.
It's supposed to be fun.
And I think that if we're acting like that, maybe the kids will behave and everybody will act like that, and then there you go.
Right.
We had gotten up on them, and then they came back, and we got up on them, and then got up on them again, and then they came back again. It's like, oh my!
Wow.
So the last little bit was tight, but you want that.
Yeah.
You want the experience of having to survive a really tight, tough game like that.
You got to know what adversity is.
Yes.
Like. Yeah.
Yes.
And know how to overcome
it. Right.
Yeah, for sure. So we're going to fast forward to this past Tuesday. You played Briarwood and actually lost that game 1-0.
Yes.
Tell us about that one.
That was a good game.
Yeah.
Briarwood played really, really well.
Okay.
Coach Batista out there he's doing a great job with that program. He really nice guy, and it's the same thing. He and I were cutting up before the game, and then of course we're coaching, and then the game's over. It's like, man, you got us this time. We'll try again.
Right. Learning lessons.
Yeah. Well, and we all know each other. We're in the Birmingham area. Everybody knows everybody. Some of these people played club together.
Sure.
So that makes it fun too.
Okay, good. So you've got a few games coming up this next week, and then all of a sudden spring break is here. So let's talk about a few of those games that are coming up.
Yeah, Monday we've got Vestavia.
You do?
And Mountain Brook Vestavia is almost like an Auburn, Alabama.
Okay.
It's a big game.
That's your rival.
That's one of the biggies.
Okay.
That's one. Well, for the longest time it was the rival, and because we were in the same classification.
Right.
And then they kind of went up and we kind of came down, and Homewood, who was kind of below us, came up.
Yeah.
So now it's us and Homewood most of the time. But Vestavia, there's still a lot there.
Okay, good.
So, yeah.
Good. So then on Tuesday, you host John Carroll.
Right.
Tell us about this team. What do you expect to see?
They're well coached.
Yeah.
They're going to have a lot of good athletes. They're going to give us a battle. It
Right.
ought to be interesting. I was an assistant coach at John Carroll, 100 years ago. It seems like sometimes.
Right.
And they're that's a broken record. They're coaching our friends.
Yes.
He and I were talking 3 or 4 times today about different things. My brother-in-law is the John Carroll freshman coach.
Oh, that's crazy.
All 3 of his boys played at John Carroll.
Right.
So it's just kind of interesting, how some of that plays out.
Sure. So then the final game just before spring break, you play on Thursday
Yes.
against Collinsville. So this is an interesting one. Tell us about the Panthers.
Collinsville is a really small school. I want to say they're in the 1 to 3A classification, but I want to say they're 1A.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they're the first Alabama high school team to win the state championship at the smallest classification that was not a private school.
Oh, okay.
So that's all right. So they're getting people's attention.
Yeah.
They were the first predominantly Hispanic team to win a state championship in Alabama. All right, now we're getting some attention again.
Yes.
One of my good friends was their coach when they won.
Okay.
So I was kind of helping to, ride out with them and cheer them on and all that.
Well, good.
But the guy who's the coach now, we became friends through the other coach, and it's like, we're going to play. Oh, yeah, we're going to play. Let's have at it. So
Good deal. So we talked about the team early on.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the players that are really standing out so far.
We have it's one of those that's a shame I can't mention everybody.
Yes. I get it.
We've got Jude Smith is always going to have a special place for me.
Okay.
Senior captain.
Nice.
His dad played for me here.
Oh, how about that?
His granddaddy was on the hiring committee that hired me here.
That's fantastic.
It's a long story, but it's just
circle of life.
That whole family is just special to me.
Well, good. Good.
And then his younger brother is playing really well as well.
Yeah.
His younger brother Davis won the state championship for his weight class in wrestling.
Nice.
And then is doing really well for us also.
Good.
Henry McGahee. Henry's going to be playing in college somewhere next year. We don't know where yet.
Right. Okay.
Or no, I'm sorry, in 2 years.
Yes.
But he's a defender.
Okay.
But I think he's like our 4th or 5th leading scorer.
Oh, wow. Wow.
He's a threat on set pieces.
That's crazy.
He's a big athletic guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Jude may have a chance to play somewhere next year, but he's kind of picky on where he wants to go to school.
Right.
So he could go here and play, but he might rather want to go here, or
Right.
he might even go in the military. We don't know.
Okay.
Whoever gets him is going to.
That'll be fantastic.
Hey, they're going to benefit whoever gets him.
Right.
Carson Hahn, who you met a little while ago,
Yes.
he was bringing me some stuff.
Yes.
He's our 2nd leading scorer. He's a fiery kid that he presses well.
Right.
He's fun to watch.
Right.
He just does all that just hard work that deserves to have a goal next to it sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will Woodkey is one of our other captains.
Right.
Will and I were talking today that I still feel bad when he was a sophomore that we didn't put him on the varsity.
Right.
And he was real quick to say that at that time that may have been the right decision because of his size. He's grown maybe a foot since then.
Sure.
He's filled out. He's a well-fit young man.
Gotcha.
But he learned a lot, learned how to be a leader.
Okay.
And by golly, he's a leader. He's another coach out there on the field.
That's fantastic. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
That's helpful.
My goalkeeper right now, Griffin Lampkin, he's been kind of the number 2 man for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, now he's the man.
He's the man.
And he's rising to that, and that's fun to see.
Good deal. Well, I'm sure you could go through the whole team.
I could go through the whole lineup.
Say something good.
Yeah.
That's our show, Coach. We appreciate your time. And as always, we appreciate yours. Join us again in a couple of weeks after spring break, and we'll be back for another edition of Coach Speak.